did I just read? And this book disappointed me, and I found a new favorite. And I think I'm gonna think about this book for a lot of time. So, I've never read manga, but I'm going to try. Manga is very different from what I usually read. I mostly read nonfiction, and when I read fiction, I like to read classics. I want to read literary fiction books and fantasy books. I love fantasy. So I borrowed these 3 books from my brother a year ago. Yeah, I was supposed to make this video a year ago. I said, why not? I'm gonna very bravely dip a toe into the world of manga. So let me introduce these books. Black Paradox by Junji Ito. Dissolving Classroom by Junji Ito, and Bungo Stray Dogs by Kafka Azagari. Hey, it's me after finishing all the books I was supposed to read and after shooting the whole video. So I'm here to tell you that there was a change of plan, and instead of reading the Bungo Stray Dogs, the 3rd book, instead I read 2 other books, both of them by Tatsuki Fujimoto, who's the author of Chainsaw Man series. Goodbye, Airy, and Look Back. I'm gonna start with one. I'm gonna come back here and tell you guys what did I think, then the next book and the next book. Which book am I gonna start with? I really like this one. I like the cover, and I'm gonna just give a shot here. I think this is a book about a bunch of kids dissolving in a classroom. Genius, right? And there's this guy, I hope he's the teacher, and he's strangely calm. And there's this girl, I like her already. If in the middle of a book something catches my eyes, I'm gonna come here and talk about it. Yeah, I'm gonna come back. Okay, what the hell did I just read? This book was about a brother and a sister. So he was not the teacher, hard to tell. This girl is like evil, and she knows it, and she owns it. This guy is as much devil, as much mischievous, but not only does he not owns it, but also he thinks he's a good, polite guy. And this is the mess these 2 made. So, spoilers are ahead, as you see. What I think was the motive of the book was the culture of us people enjoying that people apologize to us when they make a mistake, but at the same time, they are not making any amends, and they're not responsible for what the hell they did. So here, she makes the mistakes, he does the apologizing, and the apologizing causes people melt, and the cycle goes on and on. Sometimes, many times actually, the sister is not doing anything, but he keeps on apologizing and apologizing, and I'm very shocked. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this feeling that I have. It was good, it was solid. A solid story with solid message, which I'm not sure if I got it right. But the point is, you can separate the art from the artist. I'm not sure if Junji Ito wanted me to feel this way or to get these messages from the book. So this guy, the brother, when he was a child, his parents used to tell him he was worthless and he was a terrible son, and they wished him dead. And his answer to those horrible things was that, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, for God's sake. He does not stop in the whole book. The parents die when these 2 people were just kids, but he still has the trauma. This book consists of a bunch of stories, and in one of those stories, the brother brings his dead parents to this living world. They become alive, and then again they humiliate him, and again he apologizes to them, and the parents melt. This is a symbol of the brother's subconscious. The voices of parents stays with us until the day we die. So the voices of his parents humiliating him stays in his head, and he still apologizes to them. That shed the light on the traumatizing childhood part. And also there's another way to look at it. The symbol of hurting people by being toxic is this dissolving, like in this book. A few days ago I was reading a book, None of This Is True, and that was a great book. In that book there's a husband, an alcoholic one, and he comes back most of the days very late, most of the days at midnight. And what do you think he does for making amends? He just apologizes night after night, but he does not change. And the wife doesn't do anything for her life because she believes the man and because she feels good when her husband apologizes. And in this book too, people before dissolving enjoy the apologizing, and they say that, oh, I'm feeling good. He apologizes for unreasonable things, but I like it. It makes me feel good. And not long after that, they are dissolved. Yes. So that was it for this one. Very weird. It's not 4 out of 5 stars for me, and it's not 3.5. It's something in between. It's 3.7 out of 5 stars for me. I'm happy that I read it. Next book is Black Paradox by Junji Ito. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it today. It's 5:30 p.m. I'm gonna come back today or tomorrow. This one was science fiction. I'm not into science fiction. I did not finish The Martian and I did not finish Brave New World, although it is a classic and I'm into classic most of the time. But this one I did not enjoy. In terms of creative imagination, this book was better. I was engaged and I wanted to know what's going on. And I was like, the ending has got to be good. You know, when you put so much into the story, when you put different seeds of different mysteries in the book, you've got to do something with it in the end. Maybe I didn't get the ending. Maybe I didn't get the point, but I think it could have been more well crafted. And the characters also were paper thin. These 4 people are the main characters of the book. I wanted to know them. They find a mysterious stone that comes out of this guy's stomach. Very entertaining, very fun, but this wasn't what I expected. And this book disappointed me. I'm sorry, don't hate me. A positive thing that I got from the plot of the story is that the stone has so much energy and people use it because of the energy. And in the end, we find out that the energy was from people's own souls. They use it up, and as a result, their soul is gone. I'm not sure if Junji Ito was actually considering that, but I really thought of that. The addiction is something like that. It gives you energy in a limited time, and after that, it kind of sucks your soul. I'm gonna give it 2.5. The third book was Bungo Stray Dogs, right? But don't rush into it, baby. I'm not gonna read it. I called my brother, I told him about this experiment, and I told him that I'm not enjoying it. He told me I haven't chosen good books. Which is interesting, as we know that these are his books, actually. He recommended me 2 other books, which he hopes I'm gonna enjoy more. They are Look Back by Tatsuki Fujimoto and Goodbye Eri by Tatsuki Fujimoto. I searched these books and I found out the author is also the author of Chainsaw Man. And even I know that Chainsaw Man is huge in the world of manga. So I'm gonna trust the author and I hope I like them. Okay, 2 hours passed. I read Look Back and I came back and I found a new favorite. It was a good book. I liked it a lot and it opened another perspective on how to look at manga and how to read one. The book is about 2 friends who like to write or draw manga books, and they are in middle school. They kind of become friends, they write and draw books together, they win awards, they grow up, and they fall apart. This book is about regret, guilt, motivation, friendship. By motivation, I mean what gives us the energy to make and create. First, I liked the drawings. Sometimes I found myself pausing and not going to the next page because I wanted to enjoy the scenery. I wanted to enjoy the drawings. It kind of reminded me of the anime Whisper of the Heart. The root of the premise is the same, like, you know, trying to grow, try to improve and all that. One of my favorite animes and one of my favorite movies of all time. It was candy for eye watching the art of the book. It's great art, not just in terms of being eye-catching, but also in terms of conveying the message in a realistic way. They have important parts in the story. The other thing that I like, there was no sign of paper-thin characters. After I finished it, I had so many questions and I thought I didn't understand it well. So I went back and read it again, and then I had doubts whether I got it right or not. So I searched to be sure that what I thought was the dreaming part of the book was actually dreaming and all. If you have read the book, you know what I'm talking about. And when I was sure that I'm getting it right, I read the last third of the book again. I read it for the 3rd time, actually. That was when I was paying more attention to the art and the drawings, and that's when I think I got the gem out of it. So you really need to be paying attention to the art parts. I liked the friendship, I liked the characters, I liked the plot, and I liked how one of the girls uses the enthusiasm that her audience have for her books as motivation to keep on writing and keep on creating. The last page also was very meaningful. I saw the paper on the window. That's when I started to fall in love with the story. This book can be a good introduction to the world of manga, but you have to pay attention because the author does not put all the information just in the dialogues and prose. You need to look at the pictures really carefully because they have important information. That's it for this book. I'm so happy that I read it. I feel like now this video is going somewhere. It's about 1:30 p.m. I'm gonna read the next one. Okay, I'm telling you, she's gonna enjoy that one too. And this time, I'm gonna really pay attention so that I won't have to read it for the third time. I'm gonna come back. It's 2:50 p.m. I read the last book and I loved it. It was sad but lovely. It's about a teenage boy who loves to make documentaries with his phone, and his mom is dying because of an illness, and she's asking him to make a documentary out of her life and her journey of dealing with this illness. He does that, and it's for a high school festival. His mother dies, and people at the school doesn't like his work because they think he's making fun of her mother's death because of how he made the documentary. He wants to kill himself because of all the mockery. You need to read it to know why they have a problem with the documentary. But the point is, he's not very engaged and he doesn't show that much sadness in the documentary. It's like he's just doing his job as a person who makes documentaries. When he goes to the top of a building to kill himself, a woman is there. She convinces him to cancel the suicide plan and instead make a better movie. He accepts. During the shooting of this second documentary or second movie, we find out his mom was an abusive person even when she was dying, and she kind of used his son to feel better about herself and show the world that she was a brave woman battling with this illness. But he is so young that he can't understand, let alone articulate his anger toward his mom. So instead he projects his anger into the documentary, which is kind of emotionless and not sad enough. And that's why people are making fun of him at this school. In the second movie, we find out that he has cut out many parts, many scenes in the first movie because he didn't want the world to know that he had an abusive mother. I think it showed that art could be a way to show our feelings. Art could be a way to convey our messages that are hard for us to articulate. We can bring our sadness into a book, into a painting, into music, into a movie, into a documentary. I loved it. I loved the book. Before shooting this part of the video, I wanted to give it 4.5 stars out of 5 stars, but now that I think about it, the message was very important, and the way the author conveyed the message was also phenomenal. I think right now it's a 5 stars out of 5 for me, and I think I'm gonna think about this book for a lot of time, and I'm so happy that he did this for other teenagers who suffer from abusers who are adults, and maybe they are related, so because of that they cannot raise their voices. The character, the boy, reminds me of Holden Caulfield in the book The Catcher in the Rye. They are both teenagers who are not very easy to express their real, raw feelings, and instead they talk about other things or other feelings that are more shallow than the deep ones that hurt them the most. I think Holden Caulfield will be proud of this boy, and Salinger would be proud of Fujimoto. Another thing I want to mention is how this boy ends his movies with explosion. And that's why kids at the school mock him. Like, who the hell is gonna end the movie of the mom's death with an explosion? He does, because I think he wants to lift all those abuse and all those memories and also all that grief. He wants to put that all behind, and he wants to keep moving and keep going on with life. Because when he's a grown-up, again, some trauma happens and he wants to kill himself again. And again, a pinch of fantasy helps him to keep on, and he ends the second movie with an explosion too. As Misty Copeland once said, know that you can start late, look different, and be uncertain and still succeed. That wraps it up. One thing that I liked about Fujimoto's writing is that he's very into the reason and motivation behind living and creating, and these are very connected to each other. In the first book, Look Back, the girl creates because of another friend, because of the audience, because of life, because of love, because of people. So the creativity is dependent on life, on people. And in the second book, Goodbye Eri, the life of that boy, his life is dependent on creativity, a pitch of fantasy, and he's connected to the world by fantasy, by fiction, by making movies or documentaries and all. So I think Fujimoto strongly believes that art and life are strongly connected to each other. That's it. Thank you for watching. And I missed you so much. It's been months since I've last uploaded a video. I missed you so much. I'm so happy that I came back. And bye.